okay, this is blowing up. Screw you, China. I'm out of here. Good on LinkedIn for ultimately exiting. Communism, freedom of expression, do not mix. Microsoft pulling LinkedIn from the Chinese market. As we've talked about, China's been on a tear against their own Chinese big tech monopolies and big tech companies, let alone certainly foreign large tech, US tech companies operating in China. If that, it's kind of an oxymoron. Surprisingly, LinkedIn was available in China. Basically, a couple weeks ago, Microsoft came under heavy scrutiny for its decision to block the profiles of certain US journalists in China. So Microsoft messed this one up, right? China said, block these US journalists, and they did it. Remember when Zoom magically just banned these webinar events that were being hosted by Chinese nationals who had left China and were rallying people to kind of go against the CCP? Valiant effort. We support you. And then those webinars just magically disappeared off of Zoom and their accounts were all blocked. Yeah. Similar kind of thing happening here. LinkedIn blocks US journalist profiles in China, citing prohibited content. LinkedIn is one of the only large American social media platforms to agree to the Chinese government's demands to censor content and is tasking its own employees with restricting what users in China can see. Microsoft capitulated, then they did an about face and they said, whoa, okay, this is blowing up. Let's just shut LinkedIn down. And that's what they did. The software giant could choose to either bow to the demands of the Chinese government to limit access of individual profiles it found unacceptable. It's ridiculous. Or walk. It chose the latter. But actually, at first it chose the former, and then it got a bunch of blowback, and then it chose the latter. Okay. But hey, at least they ended up making the right decision. It just took them a couple weeks and some really bad press for them to get there, but they ended up making the appropriate decision, which is, screw you, China, I'm out of here. And that is not the beginning. We're probably like mid-cycle of the great decoupling. We are decoupling from China. You can't deal with them. You can't trust them. You must decouple. You better write off your investments in China and just hightail it out of there as quick and as fast with as much, minimize the blowback as you can and salvage whatever you can. But it's sayonara time, baby. LinkedIn wrote this whole blog post. We wanted to support freedom of expression. Freedom of expression and communism. Water, oil. Oil, water. Do they go together, science class? No, they do not. They will never go together. You're going to have to change the fundamental laws of physics and chemistry, and they will potentially then go together, but you'll have torn apart the entire universe in the process. They don't go together. Communism, freedom of expression, do not mix. So LinkedIn now just figured this one out. And now they've said that we're facing a significantly more challenging operating environment and greater compliance requirements in China. And so we are going to sunset the current localized version of LinkedIn. And you know what? Microsoft shares are up. I mean, LinkedIn's a very small part of Microsoft's business, so they're not directly correlated. But hey, now instead they're going to go launch some kind of jobs platform. So no social media, just purely job matchmaking. And there was a Chinese recruiting firm called 58. 58.com was in Platt, our ETF with WisdomTree, which puts all the public platform stocks in an index. But we've limited the Chinese exposure of that index, thankfully. And 58.com was pulling all kinds of funny games with their numbers. Like COVID hit and then their numbers went through the roof. I mean, how does that make any sense? Because COVID hit China earlier than the United States. Because COVID from China. All their numbers were out of whack. I did not trust what I was seeing out of 58.com and their reportings. It just looked too good to be true with COVID hitting and people, I don't know, it just didn't make any sense to me. So now LinkedIn Jobs is basically going to be a recruiting, job marketplace. Fine. But good on LinkedIn for ultimately exiting, decoupling, don't focus your time there, and enable the authoritarian regime that is the CCP. Hi, I'm Alex. Thanks for watching the show. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, but even better, make sure to follow us on Odyssey, follow us on Rumble, and text us 203-646-5159. Text the word Monopoly. You'll be subscribed. You'll get updates about when we're going live, our latest videos, and we'll send you even a little goodie bag. And in the event that we all get banned from big tech, we'll still be connected.